Morning. Welcome to the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners Board Work Session for Wednesday, June 16th, 2021. It is 9:02 a.m. My name is Ty Menser, Chair of the Board. Participating through Zoom is Vice Chair Commissioner Gary Edwards and Commissioner Carolina Mejia. To my left is County Manager Mira Chavez, and to my right is Assistant County Manager Robin Campbell. We have Tim Wilson and Paula Cracknell from our Public Works team, who are going to be discussing Long Lake and Lake Lawrence proposed fee increase. We have an hour slated for this briefing, and we have live streamed through our county YouTube channel. We no longer have the conference line due to the new ways to attend our meetings, and the boardroom is open for a limited number of participants as well. So with that, I'll let the county manager set up what we're trying to accomplish this morning. Feels like I've just been talking about Long Lake and Lake Lawrence.
Yeah, we have been discussing the lake management districts for quite some time. This particular briefing is related to the 2023 budget. You may recall the board.
2023.
Yeah, because we're going to be looking into the biennial budget moving into the fall. This 2022-2023. So the board passed, I believe, a resolution early in the year where you adjusted the rates at, for both lakes for 2021 and 22. So this for 2023, so we want to align to the biennial budget, and this briefing is related to the 2023 adjustment, so we can incorporate everything during the budget deliberations. With that in mind, Tim?
Okay, good morning. Tim Wilson, Water Resources Manager, Public Works, and as mentioned, I have Paula Cracknell, our Aquatic Resource Specialist, with me. I'm going to share the screen. Okay, so there you go. Okay, now can I back it up? Okay, and again, we are here today to talk about proposed rate increases for both of the LMDs for 2023. And as Ramiro mentioned, the steering committees for both LMDs were engaged to talk about rate increases for a 2021-2022 biennial budget prior to the board's decision to just go with an annual budget. So they had those conversations internally in mid-2020 and proposed rate increases for 21 and 22 at that time. So during the budget process for 2021, we came forward with those recommendations for rate increases. Those were adopted by the board per ordinance. So 2022 has already, there's action been taken upon that. So the steering committees recommended a 3% increase for Long Lake, a 1% increase for Lake Lawrence, and the board adopted that through ordinance. So what we're here today is proposing 2023 rate increases. Similar to the last process, staff goes out to the steering committees, asks them to have that conversation and to discuss internally what their work plans are for the period and what the proposed rates are for that period as well. So just a little bit of lake management history. Again, Long Lake LMD was formed in 2015. For both of these LMDs, this is there's been several iterations of these LMDs. So these are not new, they've been around for a while. The latest iteration, Long Lake, was formed in 2015. Yeah, it is a 10-year LMD. And Lake Lawrence was formed the next year in 2016. Okay, as a reminder, so the funding structure of the LMDs, the properties are broken into categories. This was all developed during the formation of the LMDs, and the different categories of properties are charged different rates. So the resolutions for each of the LMDs both contain escalation clauses. For Long Lake, it's 0 to 5% each year that we have the ability to adjust their rates. For Lake Lawrence, it's 1.5% annually. And an ordinance is required to authorize the assessment.
1 to 5%?
Correct.
So they've set in advance that they're not gonna keep it the same, they're always gonna at least increase by 1%?
Lake Lawrence was set up that way, so 1 to 5%. And this precedes me, so I'm not sure, why they were set up differently, but I assume there was some discussion at that time, and that's how they were set up.
Commissioners, because I've got the screen, because you're so little, I can't see hands, I can't see you waving, so just jump in if you have a question. I think we have plenty of time for this briefing.
I do have a question, sir.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I just want to clarify something. Tim's saying that the Long Lake Management District, that these were formed in 2015 and 2016, but they might have been updated in 2015 and 2016. I'm not exactly sure on the date on Long Lake, but I think the Lake Management District was formed with the assistance of Thurston County in 1986. And I think Long Lake was the same.
Yeah, they've
Just
been
for
around a long
clarification.
time. I should have said renewed.
That is correct, Commissioner.
Okay, just kind of want to make sure everybody's up on the history. Thanks.
So the proposed fee increases for 2023, again, these were discussed by the steering committees, the respective steering committees for each of the LMDs. Staff then looks at the proposals, looks at the work plans, and determines if those make sense, which they do. So staff is recommending this as well. This maintains the current level of service for 2023, and for both LMDs for 2023, the proposal is a 5% increase.
And remind us, the ones we just did, wasn't it 3 and 1?
Correct.
Okay, so they're both up in their game here.
They are.
For 20, okay.
They are, and Paula can speak to this, but they are, as you understand, they are encountering some algae issues and some, just increases in what they want to do. Long Lake has incorporated a water quality testing program and kind of ramping up their program a little bit. Okay, the impact to the LMD ratepayer, and again, there's different classifications. So what we typically do in these presentations is look at the highest charged category, which in both cases is a lakefront property with a residence. So for Lake Lawrence, the impact to a ratepayer would be $14.95, the change from 2022 to 2023. And Long Lake is assessed a little bit differently. They also have a shoreline charge, so it's based on how much frontage you have. So in Long Lake, lakefront property with residence, and we assumed 100 feet of shoreline. Just for demonstration, the change would be $23.44 in 2023. So the next step in the budget process, we would prepare ordinances approving the increases. We would prepare those in August, and then the next time you would see those would be incorporated into the 2022-2023 biennial budget. We would move forward with a public hearing for that as part of our public works revenue process. It would all be incorporated in. And that would be the process. With that, I would entertain any questions.
Commissioner Mejia, anything for Paul, or did Paula, do you have additional information before we go to questions?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No.
Okay. Go ahead, Commissioner Mejia, anything?
So I guess I'm still kind of trying to wrap my head around this. Well, you said something in regards to the lakes kind of self-assessed a rate. Tim, did I hear that wrong? Can you explain that a little bit better, please?
Sure. So lake management districts during formation create a work plan, and they create a system of funding. So per statute, the way that occurs is that the LMDs impose a rate upon all properties within the boundary of the lake management district. So during formation back in 2015, the community discussed what those rates would be. Staff proofed those and made sure that those worked with the work plan that the LMD was proposing at that time. And then similar to utility rates or stormwater fees, the LMDs have a mechanism to adjust those rates on an annual basis moving forward from there to address changes in work plans and just to address inflation as well. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. And so this is kind of like an increase, what is being proposed for basically what Paula does, is that correct? Or no?
Yes, this is an increase to address inflation in staffing costs, to address increases in work plans. So they have added some additional initiatives to their work plans, and I'm speaking about Long Lake here. And then adjustments in professional services primarily. So the cost of going out and hiring a contractor to do weed control efforts or to add algae treatment on into their work plan.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a comment on that, Chair.
Yep, you're up.
Just kind of for clarification, this is a self-induced tax, you might say, by these lake districts striving to do the best they can do. And in this case, they're going to the maximum allowed to try and make water quality better in their community. And they have actually asked us through this process to impose this adjustment. And I'm kind of curious why we've got an hour here. And I think we could have covered a couple other things with this when it comes to water in general, lakes in specific, I guess. So here it is. I don't understand the time frame. You know, a lot of times we do half hour or whatever. It almost seems like we're just trying to be kept busy. But I have to say, I think that we should, on this type of a situation, how come we don't have one of the management people come to this meeting so we can really address some of their concerns? I know it's not a public meeting per se, but here we're responding to their request to give them access to more ability, taxing themselves to do a better job. A lot of this has to do with the reduction of available revenue for them to do their job, because we seem to be taking it from them through indirect costs. We're taking about 50% of their revenue to use towards, I don't know, administrative overhead. I did ask the county manager yesterday, Just quickly, after our meeting yesterday, I had a chance to talk with Barry Halverson from Lawrence Lake, and he showed me where we purchased for them out of their funds computer, well, I guess it was technical licensing, the computers themselves, the printers. And I think that had to do with maybe in Paula's position working from home. And maybe she could explain that if I've got that right, because if we purchased other county employees computers and printers and stuff to make them more efficient from working at home, and we purchased that with CARES money, how come we don't do the same for the lake management districts? Because we're asking staff to work from home, but seems like we build the lakes themselves rather than the CARES money. And I don't, maybe Robin could comment on that, or Paula. So that's my thoughts for now. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, Commissioner, Mr. Halverson sent an email to Robin asking those specific questions. And Robin responded last night to him related specifically to what you are bringing up. So I'm supposed to verbalize that, and Robin is here, so she will be giving you a perspective on that.
So I'm just going to preface this with I offered to find out if a computer was purchased, and if so, with what funds. But the comment was, could it have been purchased with CARES Act money? And the CARES Act money had some very specific restrictions. First, you couldn't supplant something that was already in the budget. And second, it had to be considered a necessary cost. So when it came to computers, the first thing we did was check to see if the computer was already scheduled to be replaced in 2020. And if so, then we could not pay for it with the CARES Act funds. And then second, did the employee have a working laptop already issued by the county? And the example is me. I have a laptop issued in 2019. It worked perfectly well. The county did not need to buy me a new computer to work from home. So that's the kind of steps we were taking with every computer that we purchased. So I did offer to check, and that was just last night. So I've not had time this morning to reach out to Public Works, but I will be checking if a computer was purchased. We don't need to answer that on the spot, and how it was paid for. So I'll be following up on that.
Okay. Thank you.
And Commissioner, as far as the amount of time, as the chair, I can stop this meeting right now if you're all good to go, and you can have the rest of your hour back. Is that good?
No, that isn't as much my concern as trying to be as efficient as we can, and when possible, glean as much information as we can about a topic. And if we were going to have an hour for this, why not have a representative from Long Lake and Lawrence Lake here and working with us? Because my goal is to do the best job we can for the taxpayers in general. So that's kind of what I'm looking for.
I'm guessing that the board, I'm just going to guess and say that the board is supportive of this proposal from the lakes. Obviously we're not going to decide that now. We're going to have resolutions in August. But I don't have any questions or concerns about the lakes proposal. So would have been a waste of their time to come up here.
I'd just like to confirm with Tim that I believe the leadership of both lake management districts were aware of this briefing. Is that correct?
Yeah, they were aware that we were going to need to go through this process as part of the budget process as well, and they were aware that we were going to be briefing the board as kind of a technicality moving forward with the budget process.
Excellent. Okay. Well, is there anything else we need to accomplish, Ramiro?
No.
Commissioner Mejia or Edwards, anything else you want to discuss?
Yes,
Go ahead.
yes. I just want to compliment Paula on her relationship with the Lakes folks. I've heard always good things, so I just want to mention that. She's here at the meeting, so. Anyway, that's it, I guess. No, I think you're right. I believe we're supportive. I think we want to do as much as we possibly can for the lakes and for water in general. So, yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, good. Thank you. Tim, anything to wrap up? We're good to go.
Nothing further.
Okay, very good. We're adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.